Worry takes up space, and it does not give anything back. That is the transaction the worried mind has been accepting for days. Something comes in, occupies the interior, draws from the available resources, and produces nothing in return. Not clarity about the concerning thing, not resolution of the uncertain situation, not peace in the middle of what is difficult, just the consumption. The worry enters, expands, occupies, drains, and remains. And the person living inside that transaction arrives at Wednesday morning, having paid a significant cost for nothing they can name or keep. The exchange God offers is entirely different. Not the removal of the concerning thing and the installation of comfortable emptiness in its place, a replacement, something real given for what was taken, something that the worry, for all its occupying and consuming, was never able to provide. The peace that the worry was crowding out, the clarity that the worry was obscuring, the settled confidence that the worried interior was too occupied to receive. God replaces worry with what only He can give, not the absence of the worry's object, the presence of something more real than the worry ever was. This is Wednesday, April 29th, the midpoint of the week. 2 days of a demanding week already behind and 2 more days ahead. The worry that arrived with Monday has had 2 days to establish itself, to grow its roots, to make itself feel like a permanent resident rather than an uninvited guest. And the Wednesday person who has been hosting the worry since Monday is carrying something that has compounded in the way that things carried too long always compound. God replaces it, right now, before the second half of the week gives the worry 2 more days to deepen what the first half started. His word declares in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 through 7, to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. God, active, the peace guards. It does not passively exist alongside the worry. It actively displaces it, stands where the worry was standing, occupies what the worry was occupying, and does not let the worry return to the space it was removed from without the challenge of a guard that is stronger than the worry's claim. Before we enter this prayer, write in the comments right now, Lord, replace every worry with what only You can give. I give You the weight and I receive Your peace. Write it as the exchange before the second half of the week has a chance to add to what the first half already installed. Like this video, as an act of choosing the replacement over the continued carrying. Subscribe to this channel so we can begin every morning together, especially the Wednesdays, when the worry has had 2 days to establish itself and needs to be specifically named and replaced before the week's second half deepens it further. And share this prayer with someone whose Wednesday you know is beginning from inside the worry rather than from outside it. What you send might be the exchange they did not know was available. Now let us bring the worry before the one who replaces it. Lord, my God and my Father, I come before You on this Wednesday morning, and I name the specific things that have been worrying me since the week began. Not the list I would present to someone else, which would be edited for what is spiritually acceptable to worry about. The actual list. The relationship tension that arrived Monday and has been running background processing since, the financial pressure that is still there this morning, precisely as it was there Monday morning, because worrying about it has not moved it at all. The health concern that waves and retreats and waves again, and that the mind returns to in every unguarded moment. The work situation that is developing in a direction that has not yet resolved, and that the worry is doing nothing to resolve. The uncertainty about the future that is not smaller today than it was on Sunday. I name each one. I hold each one up before you, not to show you what you do not already know, to do the thing that the worrying never does, to bring what has been circulating in the interior before the God who actually has the capacity to do something with it. Your word declares in the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7 to cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Cares for you. Not for the resolution of the concerning situation as an abstraction. For you, the specific named known person carrying the specific named known worry. He cares for that person, not generically, with the specific care of the one who knows exactly what the worry has been costing and who receives every worry the person has been carrying with the genuine interest of someone who was waiting for it to be given to them. Cast this now, all of it, every piece of the worry that has been accumulating since Monday, into the hands of the one who cares. Father, I want to name what the worry has been replacing all week, and that God's replacement will restore. The worry replaced the awareness of what was genuinely good. This week had things in it that were worth receiving, the conversation that unexpectedly went well, the moment of genuine connection that arrived in a place the worry had designated as difficult. The small grace that appeared in the middle of a demanding day that the worried mind moved past without collecting. The evidence of God's faithfulness that was present in Monday and Tuesday, alongside the things the worry was processing. All of that was there. The worry was in the space where the noticing of it would have happened. The replacement that God gives does not only provide peace, it restores the capacity to see what was there all along, but what the worry was occupying the view in front of. The cleared interior receives what the worried interior was too full to hold. The grace that the worry was crowding out finds its way in when the worry has been given to God, and the space is genuinely open. Your word declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 4 through 5, that I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. Radiant, that is the description of the person who has been delivered from the fear. Not relieved. Radiant. Something has been given, not merely removed. The delivering is accompanied by the receiving of light, and the radiance is visible. Other people see something in the delivered person that the worried person does not carry. Lord, replace every worry with what only you can give. I give you the weight, and I receive your peace. The worry also replaced the patience this week needed, because the worried mind has fewer resources available for the demands of patience than the unworried mind. Patience draws from whatever the interior has in reserve, and the worry is drawing from those reserves continuously. By Wednesday, the patience is thinner, not because the demanding things have been more demanding than usual, but because the worry has been spending the reserves that patience draws from. The person who is surprised at how thin their patience is by midweek is often the person whose worry has been the hidden drain on the patience supply. The replacement that God gives into the space the worry vacated includes the restoration of what the worry was depleting. The patience that was being consumed by the worry's continuous background drain is available again when the drain has been given to God. Not because the person made a new commitment to be more patient, because the supply was restored when what was draining it was removed. And Father, I want to name one more thing that the worry replaced this week, that the replacement will restore. The imagination. Not the anxious imagination that was running worst-case scenarios through the concern since Monday. The constructive imagination, the creative capacity to see solutions rather than only problems. To envision what could go right rather than only rehearsing what might go wrong. To approach the uncertain situation with the openness of someone who has not already decided how it ends. The worried mind cannot do that. It is too committed to the version of the future it has been preparing for. The concerned outcome has been imagined in such detail that it feels nearly certain, and the imagination that could have been generating solutions or possibilities or creative responses to the difficulty has been entirely occupied with the catastrophe rehearsal. The replacement creates the imagination back. The space that the worry was using becomes available for a different kind of thinking. The thinking that sees the concerning situation from the wider frame. That asks what is possible rather than what is feared. That approaches the Wednesday with the openness that the worry had closed. Your word declares in the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verse 20, that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine according to his power that is at work within us. Immeasurably more than we ask or imagine. The outcome the worried mind has been rehearsing as the likely end of the concerning situation is not the limit of what is possible. God works beyond what is asked or imagined. The person whose imagination has been freed from the worry's occupation can begin to receive that immeasurable possibility again. Lord, replace every worry with what only you can give. I give you the weight, and I receive your peace. Lord, I want to pray now about the specific replacement that only God can provide. Because the word only in this prayer matters, not just any replacement for the worry, what only God can give. And what only God can give is distinct from what the alternatives offer. The alternative that looks most like God's peace is optimism. The decision to believe that things will work out. The mental discipline of focusing on the positive outcomes rather than the feared ones. And optimism has genuine value, but it is conditional. It depends on the concerning situation actually resolving in the hoped-for direction. When it does not, the optimism collapses. It was built on what was hoped for rather than on what is true regardless of the outcome. And the peace it provided was always fragile, always one piece of bad news away from being replaced by the worry it was trying to suppress. What only God can give is different. It does not depend on the outcome cooperating. It is present when the outcome resolves well and still present when the outcome does not. It surpasses understanding precisely because it exists in conditions that do not explain its presence. The peace that is there when the concerning thing has not been resolved. The settled quality of a person whose interior is not located in the outcome because it is located in the one who holds the outcome. Your word declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 3, that you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Perfect peace. Not adequate peace, not the peace that proportional to a situation that does not merit full anxiety. Perfect peace, kept, maintained, continuously provided to the mind that is steadfast in trust. And the steadfastness is the ongoing returning of the mind to God when the worry tries to reclaim the space the peace is occupying. Not once, continuously, in trust, and from the trust, the perfect peace. Not before the trust, as the direct result of it, that peace. That specific, unearned, condition-independent, continuously provided perfect peace, that is what only God can give. And it is the replacement being asked for in this prayer. Lord, replace every worry with what only you can give. I give you the weight and I receive your peace. And Father, let the peace that is given also be the peace that changes how the second half of this week is navigated. Because the worried person and the peaceful person navigate the same Wednesday afternoon from entirely different positions. The worried person receives each new piece of information about the concerning situation as potential fuel for the worry. The update about the relationship is filtered through the anxiety lens. The development in the work situation is processed through the fear-shaped interpretation. Every new input is run through the worry processor and comes out with the worry's preferred conclusion attached. The peaceful person receives the same information differently, not as potential fuel for anxiety, but as information to be held alongside what is true about the God who is in the situation. The update is real. The development matters. And the God who is already in the situation is still in it after the update. The information adds to the picture without replacing the foundation. And the Wednesday afternoon navigation from that position produces different decisions, different conversations, different responses than the navigation from the worried position. Father, I want to ask for something that seems simple and requires everything. The permission to not worry. That sentence is longer than it looks, because the permission to not worry is not primarily about the worry itself. It is about the identity that has formed around the worrying. The person who has been worrying about something important for a long time has begun to believe that the worrying is a form of care, that the mental energy devoted to the concerning thing is love demonstrated for what is being worried about, that to stop worrying would be to stop caring, that peace in the middle of the unresolved situation is not trust, but indifference. That belief is the worry's deepest lie. And it needs to be named as such on a Wednesday morning when the worry has had 2 days to consolidate its claim. Caring and worrying are not the same thing. The worried mind and the trusting mind both care. The difference is where the caring is directed. The worried mind directs the caring at the problem through the medium of the worry, which cannot help the problem. The trusting mind directs the caring at God, who can help the problem, through the medium of prayer, which releases the caring to the one who is actually capable of doing something with it. Giving the worry to God is not the ending of care. It is the upgrading of care, from the medium that cannot help to the medium that can. From the person who is spending the caring in a loop that produces nothing to the God who receives the caring and actually acts on what he receives. Your word declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 26, that the Spirit helps us in our weakness. When we do not know what we ought to pray for, the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans, intercedes. The caring for what the worry was trying to care for does not stop when the worry is given to God. It is carried by the Spirit into the presence of the Father in a form that is more effective than anything the anxious mind could produce. The care is upgraded, not abandoned. The worry ends. The care continues through a better medium. And I want to receive something from that image of the Spirit interceding that goes beyond the permission to not worry. The Spirit intercedes with wordless groans. That is the prayer that is too deep for language, the caring that cannot be articulated because it is too real for words. And that prayer, which the worried mind has been trying to perform in the form of the worry loop, is already being prayed by the Spirit in a form that is infinitely more effective. The Spirit is doing the work the worry was trying to do, and doing it better than the worry could ever do it, in the presence of the Father, who actually has the capacity to respond to it. The worry was the person's imperfect attempt at intercession. The Spirit is the perfect one. And the person who releases the worry is not ending the prayer for what was concerning them. They are giving it to the one who intercedes more effectively on their behalf. Release the imperfect intercession. Receive the perfect one. The Spirit is already praying for what you were worrying about, in a form that reaches where worry never could. Lord, replace every worry with what only you can give. I give you the weight, and I receive your peace. Father, as this prayer closes, I want to receive something about what the replaced worry leaves room for. Not just peace, purpose. The worried mind is consuming and consumed. It gives everything to the worry and receives nothing back. The replaced mind, the mind that has given the worry to God and received the peace in its place, suddenly has something to give. The resources that were being consumed by the worry are available for what the day actually needs. The attention that was on the loop is available for the person in front of the worried person. The creativity that was being used to generate worst-case scenarios is available for the actual work. The emotional capacity that was absorbed by the anxiety is available for the relationship that needs it. The peace creates availability, and the available person can inhabit their purpose in the day in a way the consumed person cannot. Your word declares in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, that the plans God has are plans to prosper and not to harm, to give you hope and a future. Plans already made for this person, for this week, including this Wednesday, including the concerning situation that has been worrying the mind since Monday. Those plans are not dependent on the worry cooperating with them. They were made before the worry arrived, and they hold after the worry has been given to God. And the person who is no longer consumed by the worry can begin to see, even in the Wednesday of an uncertain week, the shape of what the plans are producing. The hope that was not visible from inside the worry is visible from outside it. The future that looked threatened from inside the anxiety looks different from the place where the anxiety has been given to the one who holds the future. The plans that were invisible beneath the worry begin to emerge in the space the worry vacated. Receive the vision, Lord, the wider view, the hope that the worry was blocking, the future that the peace makes visible when the anxiety has been given to the one who holds it. And I want to name something about what the person who has made this exchange brings to the second half of this Wednesday: margin. The margin the worry was consuming is now available. Margin for the unexpected. Margin for the person who needs something the occupied, worried version did not have to give. Margin for the moment of grace that arrives and that the freed mind can actually receive. The margin created by the exchange is what faithfulness draws from. The patience that holds in the difficult interaction, the generosity offered when depletion would justify withholding, the genuine attention given when the distracted mind would have been half elsewhere. All of it draws from the margin the worry was consuming. Your word declares in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 8 that God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. All that you need, not surviving on what remains after the worry has taken its share. All that is needed provided for the abounding. The worry had been subtracting from the provision. The exchange restores it. That is the exchange this Wednesday begins from. The worry is named. The giving is real. The guard is stationed. The peace is here, already displacing what the worry was occupying. And the second half of this week is entered by a person who is carrying the peace rather than the worry. Not because the concerning things resolved, because the one who holds them is carrying them, and the person who was carrying them is free. To everyone who prayed with me this morning, go back to the comments and write it one final time. Lord, replace every worry with what only you can give. I give you the weight and I receive your peace. Return to that exchange every time the worry tries to reclaim the space this prayer cleared. Give it again, as many times as today requires. Subscribe to this channel and come back tomorrow morning. We are here every day, making the exchange before the worry establishes itself as the permanent resident it wants to be. Share this prayer with someone whose Wednesday is running the worry that Monday installed. Not because you can resolve what they are worrying about, because you know the God who replaces it with something better. May the Lord receive every worry you carry today with the specific care of the God who knows exactly what each one has been costing. May the peace he gives in its place be felt not just as the absence of the anxiety, but as the presence of something real and sustaining. May the second half of this week be navigated by a person who is carrying what God gives rather than what the worry produces. And may you arrive at Friday lighter than Wednesday morning began. In Jesus' name, amen.